Sarah is 36 and has struggled with her weight for most of her life. She says it's not down to a lack of willpower or exercise. Instead, she says being obese is down to her biology.
I was very much had boobs and hips at primary school. I mean, I remember having my first bra at primary school, so it was crazy. So yeah, I felt different, you know, I felt out of place and I couldn't wear the same clothes as my friends, so I automatically felt like, yeah, like I didn't want to look this way, you know, it was kind of, so it started from that. And then I think over the years it's kind of got progressively worse. I've had phases where I've done well and I've lost significant amounts of weight, so I lost 8.5 stone about 5 years ago. I thought that was the answer. I thought, you know, this is it. I've got to a point where I was I was still overweight, but I wasn't obese anymore or classified as obese anymore. And I thought, you know, this is it now, I've lost the weight. And I think a lot of people do think that. They think it's a destination. And the hardest part for me was realising that it wasn't. Too many people look at people that struggle with their weight or are living with obesity and think it's their fault and it's a choice and that they've made that choice to kind of get there. Well, I can tell you, I haven't chosen to live my life like this. It's something that's happened to me.
Latest statistics show almost 30% of adults in England are obese. The NHS spends around £6 billion a year on treating obesity, and it's estimated that obesity is responsible for more than 30,000 deaths every year. In a bold move to deal with this growing epidemic, the Royal College of Physicians is, for the first time, recognising obesity as a disease and calling for the government to do the same.
We've come to realise that obesity isn't a lifestyle choice, it's something that people have a genetic predisposition to, and it depends on the environment that we live in. Recognising it as a disease allows people to understand that they have a disease and removes the stigma, or certainly reduces the stigma, of having obesity.
Professor Rachel Bassaham specialises in obesity research for University College London. She says her work backs up the idea that obesity is a chronic, progressive disease.
Over 100 different variations in DNA have been identified that mean that some people will become obese, whereas other people will be protected. We also know that once a person has developed obesity, it's almost impossible to lose that weight and keep it off. What happens is the body tries to go back to the highest weight that you've ever reached.
By recognising obesity as a disease, Rachel says there'd have to be a national strategy to tackle it, involving more funding and the use of medication to treat it. But this would be a major change for the health sector, and some experts feel to classify almost a third of the UK population as having a disease could bring dangerous consequences.
I don't think it's a disease, it's a condition, it's an outcome. So you or I'm slightly overweight, I think, according to government statistics, maybe more than that. I don't see myself as suffering from a disease. That's because of the things that I do, the environment in which I live, my lifestyle. So obesity for me is a condition, it's not a disease. I don't buy that at all.
Hi.
The UK is the most obese country in Western Europe.
How are you?
Some experts feel classing obesity as a disease could signal the start of changing this.
Can we have a couple of paninis, please? A bacon and brie, the mozzarella, an apple juice and a cloudy lemonade, please.
Sarah agrees. She has a balanced diet, eats 3 meals a day and doesn't snack on junk food. She says she wants to challenge misconceptions and remove the blame that comes with being obese. Charlotte Lomas, Sky News.